Hello everyone, welcome to my channel. Today we have with us Darron Pustam, who is a principal product manager and geo mentor at Esri. So, welcome Darren to our channel.
Thank you,
Can you
sir.
tell us something about yourself?
Sure. My name is Darron Pustam, and like Surya said, I'm a product manager at Esri. I'm at my office here at the headquarters in Redlands, California. Esri is known as the global market leader in geographic information systems and location intelligence and mapping. And here we take the geographic approach to problem solving and pretty much bring that to life with a software called like GIS. So I joined the product management division in my very first role here at Esri. And not coming from a product background at all. I'm probably not alone though, because from my research, it seems like this move is like happenstance for a lot of folks like me, just ending up in this career path. But I'm here now for close to 7 years, working the operational intelligence side of things. And really, I've learned a lot in this role. But I really hadn't, like I said, set out to be in product management from the get-go. So I really can't point to, let's say, a specific individual who inspired me to this path. But I've worked with a lot of great people. I've developed software and literally fell in love with GIS from the moment it was introduced to me, like about 20 years ago. But since then, I've used Esri software to build an enterprise GIS at an oil company in Trinidad and Tobago, where I was born. And then moving here to the United States, I developed an intelligent surveying and mapping system for a privately owned company. I've consulted on several products and projects, including positive train control at a major railroad company, Deepwater Horizon oil spill, if you remember that, which was the largest ecological disaster in the United States. I That's a great story and probably another one for another day. And just before joining Esri, I served as a liaison for the Pacific Disaster Center at United States Southern Command in Miami. But it's from those perspectives, witnessing firsthand the use of and applications of this technology and pairing those with my personal experiences, building software, using it, seeing others use it, and teaching it. I felt it was a good time for me to apply those experiences to help cultivate products that would serve the communities of people who leverage geography as part of their decision making process. And now, kind of seeing those creations, the products that we make come to life, uh, that are positively impacting organizations and the great work that they're doing around the world, that really brings me joy and satisfaction for the contribution that I'm making.
Thank you, Darren. Fun fact: in my previous role in the Indian Forest Service, I used S3 products a lot. So, so how do you stay up to date with emerging trends and technologies?
Well, I have to say that's very challenging to stay up to date with new tech for sure. And then again, you wouldn't want to necessarily incorporate every new thing into your product. You have emerging tech like deep learning, advanced visualizations, AI, digital twins, real-time tracking, which is actually a feature in my current product, ArcGIS Mission. You have game engine integrations, augmented and virtual reality, big data analytics, Kubernetes, and I could go on and on. At Esri, we have a global network of uh, research and development centers in New Delhi, India, in Barcelona, in Switzerland, Zurich, and many others. And we put a substantial amount of investment in research and development. But to answer the question, the software we build is actually what helps us understand, but it also gives our users emergent insights. For example, let's say to understand shifting population, renewable energy, visibility in the supply chain. Even shopping habits based on inflation that we're seeing right now can be determined using the analytical capabilities of GIS. And I think it's these driving questions are what push our R&D centers to develop new ways of thinking for our users to be able to intelligently identify new patterns and trends in the industry. So I think as a PM, it's my job to understand these needs. Folks like Gartner and others who put out reports, and I do review those. But there are also companies like Microsoft and Amazon and Apple, as you know, who also impact our product decisions. But I think it's most important to know my users and know what they're trying to accomplish. So a key factor in determining that in what goes in or what stays out of a product. This gets to the heart of what your product should or shouldn't do, your product vision per se.
Thank you. So, what is the process for developing and launching a new product that you follow?
Okay. Well, if you've ever taken pragmatic marketing, you'll find out that their modules are kind of focused or phased that way from ideation to release, but it's not a cookie cutter approach. I think you have to tailor it to your internal processes, mix them with some human centered design. Inevitably, though, I think the process begins with identifying the need, creating a proposal, a product plan, progressing through those stages like the naming, the pricing, operational readiness, creating a marketing plan, then defining your metrics and so on. I think at that point you start getting ready for your launch, right? And release planning. And in between all of that, keeping check on those documents, making sure they're updated. And I would always say cap it off with looking at sunsetting, looking at what the time will be, what it would look like, and when you're retiring the product.
What has been a challenging project that you have worked on?
Well, actually, when I came in to Esri, I actually saw a customer challenge right off the get-go. I think back in that time in Google Earth Enterprise, that's a GEE, announced that they would be retiring, and many of our customers use that product heavily. So, as you could imagine, it left a lot of them scrambling for a solution and using band-aid solutions, so to speak, to continue their workflows. Well, the product I came in to manage, ArcGIS Earth, was created to support these customers and to help them not only continue their workflow that support these legacy data types, such as KML files that you'd be familiar with, of course, and overcome these additional challenges with accessing their data. And we did this by connecting those users directly to the sources of information that they were seeking. And this enabled them to access all that geographic content that they were already harvesting in ArcGIS. Many of this data they were already using for daily operations, and now with ArcGIS Earth, they were able to visualize it, analyze it, and share that across the enterprise. And ArcGIS is on our team, and it's constantly improving. It's a free product for download, and organizations around the world, from education to utility companies to government agencies, are using this today.
That's right. How will you measure the success of a product?
Wow, I would. That's a good one. I I would begin by saying that not every product is the same, as is not every company. So metrics, although they're standard KPIs, it must be done in the light of your product and your company objectives and strategies. Typically, though, how you measure how successful you are by the features you add, what customers ask for, gauging the reactions to that, and of course their revenue derived from that. But as I was saying, not every product may be created to show profitability in dollars. Some may be about adoption. And if I could, refer back again to my previous example of Earth, I've seen that product grow from hundreds of users to literally millions of downloads in all corners of the globe, on mobile and on desktop, all accessing content from our GIS. And you know, still as a newer product than ArcGIS, than Google Earth, then for me, looking at it from a product management perspective, from that product manager, it indicates to me that the product is doing quite well.
Great. So, what will be your advice for somebody who is trying to enter into the product management space?
And funny you should ask that question too, because many recent grads and others looking for work in this in product management and in GS have been reaching out to me and quite frequently of late on LinkedIn. Just being on that side of events before, I understand it's challenging and sometimes scary, especially post degree when you're wanting to know that you're not going to be wasting this 4 or 5 years in school. And with the many of the layoffs that we've been seeing with experienced folks looking to shift gears and so on. So I've been doing some mentoring with some of those folks who reached out to me on LinkedIn. So I would say from just thinking about it, the product management discipline, it started from what I recall in like in the early 30s, and it's a evolving field. I haven't seen a specific degree for it, and if you're looking for qualifications, I would say it's a mix of study areas, combined with PM certifications. For me, I have a bachelor's in information technology and an MBA with certifications in pragmatic marketing, Luma training, and so on. But generally, I would say you have to be somebody who wants to look at things from like that 100,000 foot level, thinking strategically. Being inquisitive is one of the things that I encourage. If something is bugging you, investigate it. You have to have that research mindset and understanding the market. Doing your competitive analysis, pretty much knowing the market for your product and the technical background that goes with that too, right? One of the things I've seen for sure is communicate, communicate, communicate. How are you communicating? Being a great influencer, especially when you work with a lot of teams, and when you come across conflict, uh, how would you work towards that resolution? And really get creative with that problem solving. And finally, I think I would not discount your other experiences in life or in work life, as I mentioned in the early parts of my career.
Okay. So creativity is very crucial for any team. So in your team, how do you encourage out of the box thinking?
Right, yeah, you're right. As I said, as a PM, you have to work with many teams. Marketing, legal, release teams, and events, and so on. So I'm proficient, but by no means I'm an expert of all of those. But I do work with a lot of experts at every level, and I allow them to do what they do best. Development should be from the outside in. So I encourage folks to explore their open spaces. Think of what they want the product to be as a mature product, as its fullest and greatest capability, I would say, and then work back from there. But I also ask them to think of the customer and their requirements. Is it how you think it should work, or how the customer expects it to work? Something along those lines.
So there are many stakeholders involved. There are customers, there is the company. So how do you balance the needs of all the different stakeholders for making
That,
product decisions?
yeah, thanks. Yeah, that's a tough one, but you've just described the tenacity of a great product manager. Every product manager needs to know how to do that, but not all do. It's, I would say, it's an art form, really, more than a formula for how to do that. It comes from building relationships, being supportive, being a servant leader, serving the greater good. And what I found works well is involving everyone, letting them come to the table with their investments, their concerns, their stake in it. And then finding a way to incorporate all of those things. And most of all, being careful with messaging and managing expectations.
So you have a very busy week at Esri. So how do you wind off in the weekend? What do you do?
Every week is a busy week. I'm yet to see a short week here. You're right. We have multiple products in our team, right? We work with folks in different parts of the world, different time zones, languages, cultures, and as I mentioned before, expectations. And so next month, actually, somebody just reminded our director reminded me that May is Mental Health Awareness Month. So I'm 100% believer in remaining calm and centered, and at least I try to do my best not letting all of this overwhelm my work life balance. So that's been very important to me. So Maybe it's become because I come from an island. Maybe it's because I compartmentalize things a lot, and focus when I need to do it on the things I need to do then. But outside of that, I love cooking. Uh, Even after a really hard day, it just relaxes me. I'm at peace when I meditate, when I play my guitar, and that's how I take care of me and my mental state.
Thank you, Darren. Like what you shared with us is going to benefit so many people. There are many people who don't know how actually things happen in a big company like Esri, and also the geospatial aspect of it was very enlightening. Thank you so much, and I'm looking forward to have more talks with you in regarding specific aspects of GIS and product management. Thank you once
Absolutely.
again.
Thank you. Actually, thank you for inviting me. I appreciate it. Thank you.